Hey guys, so today we have, by book definition, officially ended the bear market. So, interesting thing here is by technical definition, if you don't know, a bear market starts when you go from the all time high or the highest level to a 20% drop. So, earlier in the year, that was when we hit that whatever it was, 49. Yeah, so 479.98, and then 20% drop from there, which was in the 383 area, put us in an official bear market. So, in order to be out of a bear market, by book definition, now this is only a book definition, not everything else that factors into a bear market, like recessions and inflation and blah, 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 blah. You have to have a 20% rise from the low of the year. So the low of the year was this 348.11, and by year I don't necessarily mean year, but just whenever the low was. You have to have a 20% rise. So I've been talking about this level since we've been down here. So 417.74 to the penny was the end of the bear market line. And today we hit at our high a day 418.31. So we officially did end the bear market today. Now there is some people that say you have to close over that level, but by book definition you just have to break through it. And we did break through it. You know, what was even more impressive is the fact that we broke through it on this candle right here, and the very next candle started a $5 drop over an hour. Absolutely incredible. So, but then we had a really big end of day rally, and then earnings came out, and here we are. So if you didn't see earnings, Apple, Google, and Amazon all presented tonight. Realistically, they all missed pretty impressively. Actually, I'm not surprised, to be honest. But Apple actually pretty epically missed. And really, despite how much it missed by, it's not doing too bad. Like right now, Apple's only down 2%. Google's down 4.4%, not too bad. And Amazon only down 4% also. So realistically, not very big moves. And right now, SPY is down about 0.6%. So what I'm looking for here is we have a very nice bull channel right here. Until we break this bull channel, any pullback is a buying opportunity. So up here, I bought some longer puts because I have my channel here and I know that we're going to come back down eventually. But now that we're getting closer to here, I'm seeing a case for here still. So I'm going to be looking for tomorrow to see where we go. And as long as which would be a pretty amazing $10 drop, hold over 406.5, I am going to be looking for some calls, an entry on calls. Overall, the biggest line to watch tomorrow is this 414.7. And then realistically, like I said yesterday, with this big wick up here, we don't have any supports or resistances in here. This kind of happened back here too, where we had this huge wicked area with no real test, and we had to come down and reconfirm it. So most likely tomorrow, I'm going to be targeting about 410.9, and that should be a pretty good bounce area. This is also the previous December CPI area too, so we're going to be keeping an eye on that level. Resistance wise, if some miracle, which this happened last earnings season too, Apple took a big miss but still recovered and had one of the craziest days I've ever seen in Apple. Was up like 10% or something like that. I'm going to be watching 419.5 as my major resistance level. The biggest thing to note going into tomorrow is the fact that we are in a very bullish pattern right here. I'm going to be watching very, very closely for 4808.9. Generally speaking, that's about a 2% drop from close today. As long as we don't close below this level, I am pretty bullish for next week. I would prefer to see a close somewhere in this realistically over 412, and I would be even more bullish. You can see, like, if you look back to the left here, all the way back to September's peaks right here, this 412 and all the way down to the bottom here in May is a pretty big level. So we want to see bulls be able to hold 412. If we can hold 412 tomorrow, the next week we're going to look for 417.2 to get retested. And then eventually in the next 2 weeks before CPI, I really am going to be targeting about 427.5. It's a pretty big push up, but with the things that Jay Powell said about disinflation and whatnot, there's a very good chance we could see a pretty hard front run into CPI, which is on February 14th. Taking a look at futures right here, we have a really nice inside candle. Same thing, pretty extreme bull channel going right here. We really have another rising wedge also. Key supports I'm watching is 41.45. And then we also have 41.32, and then the extreme support is 40.95. Big resistance at 41.93, all the way up here to 42.35. Same thing here on Futes. I would realistically like to see us close over 41.65 area. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, but no lower. If we closed really realistically, if you look at this candle here, it's going to end up being a massive doji the lower we go. 40.95 is the key area we want to see closed over, but anything over 4100, really up here 41.35 area is going to be considered bullish. We are still in this pattern up here, and you can see all these EMAs in the weekly starting to cross too. I'm targeting 42.20 and eventually 42.80 on futures. Let me go back to my Tesla here. Taking a look at Tesla. Tesla is in this extreme bull channel right here also. It finally put over its 100 EMA. This is a really big doji candle here, and this is a reversal candle, so I do expect some downside tomorrow on Tesla. I actually really wanted to short Tesla today, and I actually wanted to play a Friday tomorrow DTE Tesla put. But the only reason I did not do that is I did not want to bet against Apple, Google, and Amazon. I'm actually a little surprised all three of them missed. That is pretty impressive considering the rest of earnings and what has happened and whatnot. So I'll be interested to see what happens next. I do think Tesla is going to come down and retest 181.7. Realistically, we'll be looking for 173.8 on a bigger sell-off. The biggest support that the bulls are going to want to hold, though, is this 166.5. Obviously, that'd be a $20 drop. I'm not saying that tomorrow, but I'm saying for next week. Tesla weekly-wise here, the 200 weekly EMA is 184.3. That would be a really major level for the bulls to be able to close over. If they close over the weekly 200 EMA, there's a really big case that we could continue to see this push up and maybe even target this level if market-wide we continue to see a big push up. However, we had a really hard rejection right here at this 194.9 area, which you can see this how big of a pivot area this is right here. So we might come back down and test some support and then push back up. So we'll be watching that closely. Take a look at the VIX here. VIX is very interesting today. So we had this really nice falling wedge that we've been trading in since pretty much back here in November, December. We actually broke through that support today, made a new low of 17.06. And then we recoiled hard. So this was very interesting to watch all day. SPY continued to push green, so continued to push up, and the VIX was rising at the same time. There was a time, though, where SPY was rising and the VIX started rising, and then SPY did start to dump. That was happening right about here, and there was a pretty convincing sell-off about to happen. However, then SPY just started to go back up, and the VIX never stopped going up. I mean, the VIX at one point was up almost like 7% or 8% or something like that. It did end up having a small end-of-day sell-off here. So I'm very intrigued by this, and I don't know if this is maybe just a lot of people piling into puts because of the earnings, and they were expecting a big earnings miss, which would make sense. But you can see that every time we kind of get down in this 17 to 18 range here, we have a massive recoil back up to the 19 area. So I'm watching this closely. We could see the VIX move back up and maybe even try to retest 19.7. But overall, interesting to see that pattern. Last little bit here is Bitcoin. It cannot break through 23.7K. However, we're still holding that daily 8 EMA. All right, guys, I hope you guys had a good day trading today. I know we had some rough swings, but I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and like to stay updated. Drop a comment if you have any questions. This is the permanent Discord link. Sometimes that does not work for whatever reason. Just go ahead and drop a comment, send me a message, and I will get you an updated link so you can get to the Discord. Some of the advantages of the Discord is I do a pre-market update with key support and resistance levels every day. And also throughout the day, I do live intraday commentary on SPY and the general market. And I also do live intraday buy and sell alerts. You can follow me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok as SPY Optionaire, and on Reddit as Daddy Dersh.